Hello and happy day. I wanted to put together a little video so people could understand a couple of the options when wanting to sell their house to move into another house. Because in today's market, a lot of the hesitation that I run into with people who want to sell is just like, well, how am I going to make that jump in this crazy competitive market? So here's a couple of ways that we can make that happen. Now, it's not to say these are the only ways, just the most common. When we sit down in a listing appointment to see if it even makes sense to sell right now, that's when we really dig into what's the best fit for your situation. But at least this allows your brain to kind of open up to the idea of understanding options. So most common and most preferred for both the house you're selling and the house you're buying. So for both examples, the best that you're going to want to do is to buy your house and then sell your current house. So the most common questions I get around this are, hey, I want to use the equity in my house for my new one. How does that work? Your lender has a solution for that. And if you don't have a lender, we have plenty of great ones. But there's a way you can actually do back payment after you've closed on the house you're selling towards the house you're buying. Or I don't want to get caught with my pants down and have too many mortgage payments on both houses. Oop, look at someone in the background. You won't, not in today's market. And we go through that by understanding pricing and marketing and whatnot. But so that's the preferred option. People don't choose that option if they can't do that option. So when you're getting a loan, your lender takes a look at debt to income ratio, which says you have X amount of debt and Y amount of income. And there's a certain ratio that they'll allow you to get loans up to that ratio. Beyond that, you can't. So if you max your price point out when you bought, and on top of that, haven't received any sort of pay increases in that time, or your debt hasn't gone down in any capacity, you probably don't qualify for that. But most people, from when they buy to when they buy their next house, either have a change of income or they've paid down other debts or whatever the case is. And so it might not be big enough, right, if you didn't get a big enough raise, but there's usually at least a gap that's worth a conversation with a lender. So that's most common. Option number 2 would be selling quickly and renting back from the buyer until you buy the house you're going into. So in this competitive market, that's something that buyers can kind of give a little on. So it makes your experience a lot easier without really costing the buyer any money. So you close on the house, you rent it back from the person who bought it from you for 30, 60, 90 days until you're able to close on the house that you're buying. Upside to this is you're able to kind of take that mental breather and do one and then the other. The downside is you have to get your buyer to agree to let you rent it back from them. And if they don't, then you're going to be limiting the pool of buyers you're talking to. And then there's going to be a part of your shopping process where you're going to be contingent before your house actually closes. And that can make you just a little bit less competitive. So a good option, just not as foolproof as option number 1. Option number 3 is just writing a straight up contingent offer. We have to sell our house in order to buy this one. The house we're selling is not yet on the market. Please love us. It's the third option because it's the hardest to do in today's market. Everybody I've been speaking with is so not wanting to move because they don't think that they'll be able to buy something. And this is why it's competitive. Because inventory is low, if a seller has 4 different options, they're not going to take a contingent offer over the other 3. Now, with all that being said, that's just being clear and frank. But at the end of the day, have we helped people do that? Yes. So those are the 3 main options. Now I've got a billion other options, like what if you sold your house and then moved in with family for a month while you shopped? Or maybe you go rent an Airbnb and do a fun, cool staycation in Phoenix. Or maybe you quite literally go live in a different state for a little bit of time. So that could be a kind of creative solution, all the way to borrowing money from a family member so that we are able to make the jump without feeling so strapped. So we've heard of people doing tons of different things, but the most common are either selling and then buying and then selling, or doing the whole thing contingent. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, that's the point of a listing appointment, to just talk through your options. Give me a call. Have a great day. Bye-bye.